Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 98 of The Glow. Welcome, Ginny. Haven't seen you on here in a while with me. It's a real treat. It's like a really sort of the calm before the storm, you know? The energy is really soft and quiet, and it's overcast, and you can feel the impending storm that's coming into being. And it's really sweet. It's a really sweet energy. Had a really beautiful weekend. Did some extensive hiking, got a little sunburn. Lots of dancing, loving, great conversations, dialogue, discussion. Got a retreat coming up this coming weekend in a place called the Triangle outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. 2-day retreat. Working on a really amazing retreat for September that I haven't actually announced yet, though I guess it's happening right now. The weekend of September 9th and 10th, and potentially the 11th as well. The Big Glow Retreat, the 4 levels of intimacy in the Cradle of Love, my favorite place, Asheville, North Carolina. A place I'd love to introduce you to if you haven't experienced, and introduce you more deeply to if you have. And all kinds of other good things in the works too. We're working on a retreat, my first ever New Year's retreat, an 8-day New Year's retreat with John Stringer. So that's going to be out of this world amazing. Personal sessions have been great. The meditation I did this past weekend was great. Learning to Meditate for Inner Peace, which is still available online if you want to tune to that. There's a link below to get that at half price. Speaking of meditation, let's do a little meditation. When you're arriving, if you could please say where you're from. We always really appreciate that. And thank you for being here. So we're going to close our eyes. Pay attention to the breath. We're breathing slow, deep breaths in the bottom of the stomach. Just allowing everything to be as it is, allowing everything to be exactly as it is, allowing your thoughts to rise and fall, to come and to go, the emotional energy to rise and fall, to come and to go, exactly as it is. Physical sensations to arise and fall, to come and to go, exactly as they are. External sensory perceptions to arise and fall, to come and to go, exactly as they are. Allowing everything to rise and fall exactly as it is. There's no need to try to change anything, to alter anything in this space, to resist anything, to avoid anything, to chase anything. Allowing everything to be exactly as it is. And when we rest into the heart of this now, into the ground of being here now, we start to notice, we start to become aware of awareness itself. We start to become aware of awareness itself. The ever-present I am, the space that is unchanging, the infinite essence of who and what we are. Timeless, spaceless ground of being, of which the entire universe of the world of form arises and falls back into. This is the essence of who and what we are, and this is the essence of who and what we so easily can lose sight of and get lost in attachment, identification with the story of the ego, the illusionary sense of a separate self. When we relax into this moment, when we're present, we remember, we realize who and what we truly are. That the world is a dream and the dream is a world. That living and dying are the exact same thing. That if you're afraid to die, you're afraid to live. If you're afraid to live, you're afraid to die. And we can die fully, wholly, and completely to each moment is when we truly, wholly, and completely know what it means to be alive. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Fully into the stomach and the lungs. Exhale. Inhale, breathing in love, peace, inspiration, freedom, empowerment, bliss, joy, grace, creativity, compassion, forgiveness, infinite light. Exhale, letting go of that which no longer serves you, is no longer necessary. 1 more. Inhale. Filling the lungs, filling the stomach, and exhale. When you're ready, open your eyes with fresh, innocent eyes, as if you're seeing life for the first time. Take a few moments to look around the space in silence. Notice if things feel more alive, vibrant, colorful, present. Innocent. And welcome to a deeper here and now. There's this beautiful resting point of relaxation and heightened awareness. Relaxation and heightened alertness and awareness. What I sometimes call relaxed excitement. And this beautiful combination of the two, the integration of the two. So a space of being relaxed and at ease, yet also passionate, inspired, excited, engaged. And there's a way to integrate the two become one. And the way to integrate the two is to become fully present to this moment. Because this moment frees us from the worries and anxieties of the future and the burdens of the past. In this moment, hi Karen, hey Ginger, hey Anja, Jeannie, and Jenny, and whoever else is here. This moment has never happened before, and this moment will never happen again. This moment has never happened before, and this moment will never happen ever in the same way again. So when we are able to realize that truth, life becomes incredibly exciting. And now we're paying really close attention. We're very interested in what's happening. Our whole being, fully, wholly, completely, is engaged in this moment. Because we don't know what's happening. And we've never experienced this before, and we'll never experience it again. So we're paying super close attention. Imagine talking with someone, having a conversation with somebody, and the person that you're talking to realizes that what they're hearing they've never heard you say before, and they'll never hear it again. And imagine you talking to someone and you realizing that what you are saying to them you've never heard yourself say before, you'll never hear again. This is the kind of passionate, intimate, yet relaxed engagement that we long for as human beings. And you can't think your way into it. You can't strategize your way into it. There's no formula to get there. Here is where it's at. Here is where it's at. So there's an intelligence that transcends thought. Thought is an expression, is a tool for a deeper intelligence, a deeper essence of who and what we are, an awareness. But when we're lost in the mind, when we're lost in attachment, identification of ourself as a mental concept, including the mental concept of being a human being, or being a person, or being white, or being black, or being a man, or being a woman, or being gay, or being straight, or being Jewish, or Christian, or Muslim, or American, or French, or African, or Australian, and now we have people who are Lemurians, and they're from Mars and Venus. We have all kinds of people attached to them with all kinds of ideas of who and what they are. And it's all good, it's all lovely, it's all beautiful if you recognize and realize the essence of who and what you are is not that. If you recognize and realize the essence of who and what you are is not a thing, is not a mental concept, is not a mental construct. The essence of who and what you are is nowhere to be found, and yet is everywhere, and continuously changing. So the mind is not a problem. The mind has its function, has its role. The mind is not a bad thing. The mind is not something you need to be gotten rid of. The mind is something to be recognized for what it is. a tool for expression in the linear world of time and space. It's not a place to discover who you are. It's not a place to find happiness. It's not a place to find fulfillment. It's not a place to find peace. It's not a place to find freedom. It's not a place to find love. It's not a place to find empowerment. When you open up and realize what I'm pointing at, the recognition, the realization is that it's like a remembering, it's a realizing that the love you've been seeking all along, all this time, looking for it so many places, searching for it so many places, hoping for it so many places, that you are that. The peace that you've been looking for all this time, searching for it so many places, looking for it so many places. You are that. Welcome, Bushra, from the great land of Pakistan. So blessed to have you with us. Thank you for being here. I love that we have a global audience. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the international communion that we share here. Janky joining us from India. Welcome, Janky. So grateful for your presence. So I actually had a little namaste, namaste. Little exploration into freedom. Freedom, we're looking for freedom. Where is it? How do I get it? How do I look for it? I had a little private message exchange with Bushra, who's in Pakistan, and was exploring the question of freedom, right, Bushra? Where do I find freedom? Welcome, Beat, in Norway. So the incredible thing about freedom is that the only place to truly find it is within. Is within. Is in the space beyond concepts, beyond identification with story, beyond identification with thoughts and ideas and belief systems. Beyond the ideas of the way it should be or shouldn't be, the way it's supposed to go or not supposed to go. It's amazing, to look at people who are famous people throughout history, sages and spiritual guides, and people who I just had conversations with, people locally or friends, and there's this common theme across the world, which is that so many of the great spiritual awakenings of self-realization, of spiritual liberation, of spiritual freedom have happened in prisons. People who were in prison spent time in jails and prisons. And there's something about I'm not in any way suggesting you need to go to jail to become awakened in your consciousness. However, there is something about when everything is taken away from you externally, seemingly taken away from you externally, there's ripe potential to realize in that space that there's a freedom that no one can give you or take away from you. There's a freedom that's unshakable. And if someone could give it or take it away from you, then it's not really true freedom anyway, right? It's not absolute freedom. It would just be some kind of relative illusion of freedom. So what is this freedom that no one can take away from you or give to you? No one can give it to you or take it away from you. What is this freedom? You know, that's the question to inquire into. What is this freedom that there's nowhere to go to find it? It's impossible to lose, it's impossible to gain. When we can relax in this moment, rest in this moment, is when we are able to discover it as the essence of who and what we are. Which transcends and includes the world, which transcends and includes the dream of existence, which transcends and includes the linear world of time and space. The linear world of time and space is a mental construct, a construct of our consciousness. There's this idea that the world is going forward. You know, we're advancing, we're going from past to future, from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to Friday to Saturday to Sunday. But all that's an illusion. That's a mental construct. We could easily be going backwards. Why don't we just go from Sunday to Saturday to Friday to Thursday to Wednesday to Tuesday to Monday? Why don't we go, like, instead of forward and backwards, why don't we go sideways or laterally or left or right or some kind of diagonally, you know? Like, time isn't real. You know, it's a construct of the mind. But when we think that we are a little being, a little body, a little human being inside of time, this is where all the suffering comes into being. We're a little being, a little time-bound being who's born and going to die, beholden to the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe are like a video game, and we made the video game. So we can change the laws once we realize that we're the creators of the video game, which is already starting to happen. You know, we're awakening, as human beings, we're awakening to ourselves as one with the universal creative intelligence. Now, this doesn't mean that you go around saying, I'm not a human being, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the doer. You transcend and include all that is. So there's nothing that you're not Everything that you see, everything you experience, everything you encounter, everything that arises and falls is a reflection of you for a fleeting moment that it's present. And it's continuously changing and moving, coming and going. So it's ultimately not that important. It's only relatively important. That's the relative world. The absolute is that which does not come or go. That which is unchanging. That which is formless. That's the essence of who and what we are. That's where the freedom is. And that's where unconditioned love is. Because now we're able to, with relaxed excitement, love in an unconditional embrace whatever's arising. So everything is a continuously changing expression of the one indivisible light, the one indivisible infinite awareness. So the deeper you go into this awareness, which transcends linearity, which transcends cause and effect, which transcends form, you become what is called mystical, the mystic. And really all that's left is poetry. All that's left is art. All that's left is creativity. And so really the most awakened beings are not generally speaking, certainly can be exceptions, of course, but generally speaking, the most awakened beings are not religious leaders or spiritual leaders. They're artists. They're artists. They're people who have, and ultimately they're life artists. They're life artists. They're people who have gotten so quiet and still inside that they've attuned to the universal creative intelligence that resides in all things, and have become a clear open channel for this universal creative intelligence to express itself through them in the unique creative expression of who and what they are in this world, like a flower like a unique flower in bloom. So there's no need to try to have any control, to make any effort, force. You become open, empty, vacant. Wide open, clear. for this life force, this intelligence, this magic, this synchronized magic. To move through you as the unique expression of who and what you are. So what this means is, you can't really look to anybody else. Sorry. Can't really look to anybody else to tell you how to do it, or to model. That's one of the big things in life coaching. They say, find somebody who's successful and model them and do it like they do it. You have to do it like you do it. If you want to be great, when you are great, we're all great. The people who express their greatness have the courage, have the fortitude, wherewithal to discover how to do it like they do it. So a teacher, a real teacher, a guide, a mentor has discovered this unique flower in themselves and is a clear reflection to reflect you more clearly back to yourself. Not to try to become like them or do it like they do it, or to manipulate you to become like they are, but to be a clear mirror to reflect you back to yourself more clearly. And that's hopeful for all of us. And that's the gift. That's the gift. To be a clear mirror to express, to be a clear mirror to reflect you back to yourself more clearly, to be the unique expression of who and what you are in this world. Beyond the attachment identification to any story and any sense of illusionary separation. So you are so beautiful as a unique expression of the divine. The way you look, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you feel emotionally, your perspective, the way you move. So beautiful. It's a unique expression. There's no one else like you. There's no one else who will ever be like you. And there's no one else who ever has been like you. Even you haven't been like you. Even you won't be like you in the future. So why do we spend so much energy trying to be like somebody else? Trying to imitate somebody else, comparing ourselves to someone else. Wishing that we could be like this person or that person. To be authentic is a really amazing magical, miraculous, mystical thing. Because to be authentic means every road sign of how to be has fallen away. And all you're left with is this moment. How do you be authentic, right? How do you be authentic? There's no way to be authentic. Any way that you try to be authentic is not authentic. So when every road sign has fallen away, and all that's left is an openness and availability to this moment without any understanding of the way you think it's supposed to be, or you're supposed to be, or life is supposed to be. That's when the beauty that is you, the unique expression of the beauty that is you, shines forth. Naturally, effortlessly, organically. And people feel it. You know, people are longing, yearning for authenticity. So what I'm interested and passionate about is communities of authenticity. You know, the retreats that I do are communities of authenticity, whether they're for 2 days or 3 days or 5 days or for a month or 6 months or 5 years or 5 lifetimes. There's an interest in communities of authenticity. You know, and when there's a space of authenticity, that's when there's the space of intimacy. So imagine bringing this authenticity into your relating, into your relationships. Relationships with your partner, with your parents, with your children, with your friends, your community, you know, the workplace. That's amazing. This is the place where everything comes together, where freedom and love, which can seem like two different things, are seen as one. Inner peace, empowerment, which can seem like two different things, are seen as one. So freedom, love, inner peace, empowerment arise from this flower of authenticity. And the life artist is able to shine through as an open, clear channel for the universal creative intelligence to move through. Moment by moment. Welcome, Robin. It's really beautiful to share this space together. Truly grateful. Anytime that we come together with an intention to be present together in this field of authenticity, to explore truth together, to explore ourselves together, something beautiful emerges, something exponentially more powerful than could ever be uncovered otherwise. So thank you so much for your presence. It wouldn't be the same without you. Check out the links to plug in more deeply. And I will see you in the next now.